Hey guys, Dave here, and working on this. It's a 72%, and looking at it. I got the front wheel, the back wheel. I have the forks. It's gonna need bars. The headset is notchy, and being outside. I'm not sure, but I don't know if this one, they had a blue one and then they had a red and silver color also, and I'm not sure if this is the original blue for this bike. Don't quote me on it. Gonna need a seat. I have made seats out of aluminum. Bent them and made the seat out of aluminum. These came with Akron rims. Luckily, a lot of these you can. They do make repop fenders for them now through. I believe Preston Petty makes them now, and not cheap, but. Then I got the Baydor forks with the bike, and there's an Alpina fender over there, and that's a long on the tooth project. It's an old 54 AJS. I got it running. Those things have a terrible habit of sumping. All the oil from the oil bag will go into the bottom end of the engine because the chuck valve in there, none of them worked well. And this guy, I'm going to turn into a high pipe enduro. I'm waiting on the wiring, and I need also some bits and bobs, but I'm going to actually turn it into more of an enduro. I got another set of forks for it, so it'll raise the front end about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. And I got another set of Girling shocks that'll go in the back. And that'll be a 650 kind of enduro thingy. Or flat tracker. It's still at the bait. Yeah. But yeah, there's some of the... I think that's the rear axle and brake for the Persang. That's the front wheel. No, that's the rear wheel. That's, oh boy, I got no front wheel. Just realized that. That is a rear wheel, because it's got the sprocket thingies. But I think I got, at the ranch, I have a bunch of parts there. That's an Alpina 250 cylinder and head. But I think that's actually I think somebody, because of the numbers on there, I believe that's actually a Persang cylinder head, but it's 135 is an Alpina block. So we'll see. Because I know they made it like an Alpina that was more of a hardcore enduro. They used a lot of parts from the Persang. So we'll see how it goes together. But, yeah. Should be interesting. I did find the front wheel. That's just an extra back wheel. Oops. Voltage. And the anode is actually, they're using it as the gate to ground to flash the coil field on the coil. And I did get it to work. Let's see if I can. There you go. Seen a couple of flashes there. Let's try it again one more time. And there, that's how it works. Um, Now I just gotta solder it all together to a breadboard and our proto board, and this this replaces whatever's going on in here. And all these things are hard. I've taken them apart. You got to put them in the oven, heat them up quite a bit, up to almost 200 degrees, to get that plastic soft enough where you can scrape it back. But my experience has been it always seems to damage the components in there, and I try to. Now it's just like they're a throwaway part, and what I'm gonna replace it with is probably a coil like that, just a simple ATV, whatever they sell on Amazon, Baba, AliExpress, whatever. They all work, and they will all shock the living crap out of you. I'm using a 6-volt Bosch standard coil, and you could use that too if you'd like. It doesn't matter. It's as long as it's a coil that's working, isn't shorted out, and it'll work. And you saw the spark, and finally I got it figured out, and then I'll show you a drawing when I'm back to getting it ready to solder a proto board together. Okay, I drew up the schematic for the ignition. It's really simple. There's not a whole lot going on. The reason a lot of the bultaco or the motoplat and the FISMA ignitions go bad is because of this guy. They used film capacitors back in the day, and what they do is all this stuff, the resistors, the thyristor, normally they don't go bad. It's always the capacitor. They die. Because they dry out. The thyristor dries out right there. Or the capacitor dries out, not the thyristor. But that dries out. And then that is, you can see, you can pretty much use any coil you want here. As you know, I showed you. And normally what I've found with bultaco, the stator mag or the magnetos, is they're normally in good. I'll test them, and if I get 24 volts out of them, they're good. If you're getting erratic where the voltage is dropping up and down, there's a short in the coil. So don't test them first, but I'd have to say better than 70% of the stators are actually not bad. They're in good condition. They're usable. It's the ignition module here itself that goes bad, and it's a really simple setup. And what they're doing is, because you're getting power through the blue wire here and here, and it's kind of getting rectified by the diode. It's only letting one side of the waveform, because that's an AC magneto, and this gets rectified here. So when you're getting 24 volts, it's only 12 volts here. And that's what that's doing, is it's charging up the capacitor, and it's connected through the thyristor, which is basically a switch. And this one, they have it just go on the ground. And this is your gate. When that gets a pulse from the black wire, it pulses that black wire. It pulses this gate. And the resistor is there only to bleed off that quickly, because it only needs a momentary blip of power to this gate. And then it opens this up, and then it drops the 12 volts out. It shorts it out, collapsing, discharging the capacitor into your coil, and then producing a spark. So it's pretty simple. All right, we'll talk to you later.